I've seen it in a pre-workout, you've seen it in a pre-workout. Let's say together, what is Astragin? So Astragin is a blend of astragalus and panax notoginseng extract. So what does Astragin promote? Well, it promotes better absorption of nutrients. And now obviously better absorption effects mean your body absorbs amino acids better. For example, if you take Astragin with protein powder, those amino acids in protein powder absorb better. If you take Astragin with pre-workout, for example, with pre-workout that has citrulline in it, Astragin will let citrulline absorb better. And then some other benefits that it promotes is better gut health, increased immune system, as well as sometimes enhanced energy. So let's look at how it works. For the enhancing of nutrient absorption, it basically increases your gut health and it also increases nutrient transporters. So these transporter cells look something like this, and they basically control or gatekeep the import of molecules feeding into the metabolic pathway. So if we can maximize these transporter cells, our bodies can absorb nutrients better. And secondly, Astragin also promotes that it can decrease gut inflammation. And basically, if your gut is inflamed, it can hinder nutrient absorption. So the better your gut health is, the better nutrition absorption. So that is kind of the main pathway that Astragin works through. Now looking at the dosing, the producers of Astragin itself promote that you should be using 25 to 50 milligrams, 50 milligrams being the better one. However, looking through the studies, I cannot confirm or deny this claim because there have not been any studies looking at the dosing of this. But if you were going to use it, I would suggest 50 milligrams. Now, moving on to the studies, they themselves have promoted that there have been over 20 in vitro studies and 2 human clinical studies. In vitro studies are studies done in test tubes. So it does not fully replicate what happens in our bodies. And then obviously 2 human clinical studies, that is not a lot of studies, but they are more reliable. Now, if you were going to look at any studies, I would most definitely suggest this one because it did use the 2 ingredients that we see in Astragin. And they basically concluded that Astragin 100% could improve arginine absorption, which basically means it could improve amino acid absorption. It also improved intestinal permeability, microbiota population, immune cell count, as well as appetite. Then we have 4 studies that found that it could repair intestinal epithelial. And the intestinal epithelial is basically a layer on the small and large intestine. And obviously this means better absorption of nutrients. Then we have 2 studies that looked at the anti-diabetic effects of Astragin. And basically they found that ginsenoside, which is a part of the ginseng within Astragin, could regulate glucose levels, but to a certain degree. And lastly, I want to look at this study, which looked at tryptophan. Basically, during exercise, your body breaks down tryptophan, and this can lead to fatigue and decreased mood. So Astragin comes in, increases absorption of tryptophan, which means we have more tryptophan in our bodies, which could possibly increase mood and decrease fatigue, but it's a little questionable. And that is basically all these studies that I could find. There is some promises from Astragin that it could increase citrulline absorption, but for the life of me, I could not find this study. So right now, I will say it's inconclusive if it can increase absorption of citrulline. So for the rating and the comment, I would have to throw this into high C tier. It will not make B tier. You can definitely throw this into a protein powder or a pre-workout with the chance that it's going to increase the absorption of the ingredients. However, right now, there are not enough studies, at least for my liking, for it to be a higher tier. If you want to know more about pre-workouts or pre-workout ingredients, go down in the description, join my Discord through the link, ask me any questions, I will answer. Thank you for watching.